All of the ancient Chinese emperors wished for eternal youth and eternal life. Therefore, comprehensive books have been compiled to record top medicinal materials that have the effects of strengthening the physique, compensating the qi, and bringing one longevity. Pine pollen was among those items on the list due to its preciousness, rarity, and its unique medicinal value. Since the first index, Shen-Nong Pen Xiao Qing, published in the East Han Dynasty, pine pollen has been recorded in the manuscripts of each successive dynasty. The index recorded that the pine pollen has a delicate sweet flavor and is innocuous. It is mainly used to treat heart and abdominal chills, fever, and forces of an evil nature. It facilitates urination and reduces blood clogging while easing and strengthening the body and promoting longevity. The index newly revised canon of Material Medica from the Tang Dynasty recorded the pine flower is also known as Song Huang. Prolonged ingestion of it eases the body. Its beneficial effects are better than the bark, leaves, and amber of the pine tree. Recorded in the Ming Dynasty, the pine flower is sweet, gentle, and innocuous. It can moisten the heart and the lungs and strengthen the qi. It is beneficial to the treatment of strokes and can be used as a hemostasis. It can also be used as a fermenting agent. The index Pen Xiao Qing analysis from the Qing Dynasty recorded the pine flower is gentle-natured. It inherits springtime's woody nature and tastes sweet and innocuous. It also gets its earthy quality directly from the soil and possesses a masculine smell. It moistens the heart and lungs as it enters the stomach via food and drink. Its essence is distributed by the spleen to the heart and lungs. The pine flower tastes sweet and promotes healthy functioning of the spleen. Its beneficial qualities are carried by the spleen as body fluid to the stomach and then finally transported to the heart and lungs. It also strengthens the qi. Due to its mild nature, it both strengthens the yang qi of the liver with its sweet taste, strengthens the yin qi of the spleen. It helps the smooth functioning of the liver, thus it is beneficial for the treatment of strokes. The spleen is responsible for the body's blood supply. The sweet taste harmonizes the spleen, and therefore it can be used as a hemostasis. The books Jiang Lu Ji and Ling Biao Lu Yi from the Tang Dynasty both recorded the following legend. During the Jin Dynasty, there was a well at the foot of the Shengjiao mountain in Bai State. If a mother drinks the water from the well when pregnant, her daughter is very likely to grow into a beauty. Legend has it that a pine tree next to the well bloomed every year, and the pine pollen fell into the well. This turned out to have a miraculous beautifying effect, thus the well is called the Beauty Well. According to historical records, pine pollen has been used both as a food and medicine for more than 2,400 years. Ancient indigenous peoples called it longevity pollen. Each year, around Grave Sweeping Festival, local people would pick pine pollen to steam with pastries, make cakes, and brew spirits. Intellectuals and poets wrote about pine pollen food in numerous works. Qianxia Qinggong from the Song Dynasty mentions the Song Huang cake made of pine pollen, saying that it not only has a lingering sweet fragrance, but also beautifies and strengthens the body. Over many years, intellectuals from various eras have left behind many immortal poems, which have become part of the unique Chinese pine culture. Poet Bai Juyi from the Tang Dynasty cherishes pines and planted pine trees all his life. Around the time of the Grave Sweeping Festival, he brewed pine wine using pine pollen that he had picked, which inspired his enduring piece, Jiangshan Xin. Pour down pine wine for an empty stomach. I have no worries about my life and illness because I readily accept my fate. Poet Su Dongpu from the Song Dynasty not only made pine cakes from pine pollen that he had picked himself, but he also wrote a poem, the Pine Flower Song. Use at least 500 grams of pine pollen, 250 grams of non-fried cattail pollen, 16 grams each of pagoda flower and apricot flour, then mix them with 1,000 grams of white honey and stir all together. Consumed as food or used in a bath, it will help you maintain your youth for many years to come. In the Ming Dynasty, the pine pollen was used as a tribute to the emperor from local officials. According to the Ming court history, at each grave sweeping festival, the guarding eunuch of Tianshao Hill led all key officials to the capital city to receive civil construction approval. Each year they paid pine flowers, Coptis chinensis, tea, walnuts, hazelnuts, and chestnuts as tributes. It is obvious that pine pollen has a long history of being used as both a food and as medicine. Poet Wang Xixiong from the Qing dynasty wrote the following poem to praise pine pollen for its miraculous health care effects. This is a new way to attain longevity. Unfortunately, people today know little about it. Simply stir the songhuang carefully until they become powdery. Take it daily and you are guaranteed a healthy life.